Hey everybody, welcome to the New Covenant Guest Services Dream Team training. So this is our initial training. This is where we're going to start. There'll be more stuff to come down the road, but I just wanted to introduce you to the teams, maybe answer a few of the questions that you may have, and please feel free to contact us and let us know about any questions that you may have along the way. But I just wanted to get started. So whether you've joined a greeter team or coffee team, ushers, any of our guest services, we just want to thank you because you guys really are the front line. We cannot do what we do without you. So thank you for being with me. I'm going to jump right in. Our First of all, I want to talk about our core values. As our guest services, that means you are the first faces that people are going to see when they're walking through the door. So our core values of what we believe and what we're trying to get across are very important. So for each one of the teams, it might be slightly different, but our overall core values look something like this. This isn't something that we have to do. This is something that we get to do. And we're so excited that on Sunday mornings we get to get up, we get to come to church, and we get to serve other people. That's what guest services is all about. Whether you're holding the door, directing somebody in the parking lot, showing them to their seat, getting them a cup of coffee, whatever it may be. Those things are so vitally important because we get to do this. It's an honor that we get to serve God in this way and serve our church and serve these people that are walking through the door. So that's one of our big core values. Another is our vision at New Covenant is for people not to just sit on the seats. Our vision is to get everybody serving somewhere, at least one Sunday per month. So you're already taking that step by getting involved, but we want to encourage our friends, our family members, everybody else that's coming to church that's not currently serving. We want you to encourage them to do that because we think it's extremely important. It's one of our major values. We believe God has gifted you specifically for this opportunity. We feel like you've been called. This is not just an accident that you're serving in one of these guest services positions. And we believe, and we say this all the time, you're going to hear me say it over and over and over, and you're going to hear other people say it, and Pastor David say it. You were made for this specifically. We know that you were made for this, that God just had you in mind when he created this position and this church. And so we're going to say that over and over and over. We want every person that walks through our doors to feel at home at New Covenant. That's one of the biggest things, especially with greeters and parking people and ushers. You're going to be coming in contact with people closely, saying hello, saying good morning. You're going to be opening the door for them, shaking their hand, welcoming them into the church. But there's one thing that we want all of you to learn, and that is our tagline or our saying that we say to just about every person that we see. We've been waiting for you. So when you get somebody getting out of their car in the parking lot and you're serving on the parking team, we've been waiting for you. We're so glad that you're here. When somebody walks through our door and you open the door and hold it for them and you shake their hand and say good morning, just tell them, we've been waiting for you. We are excited that you're here. So just remember that line. You're going to hear that a lot. We'll talk about it a lot in training, but we've been waiting for you. So here's what to expect on a Sunday morning or the week that you're going to be serving. The first thing is that everybody's going to get on the week that you are serving a message from our services app that is in Planning Center. That app is going to send you a message and it's going to tell you that it's your week to serve. It's going to ask you if you can accept or decline that serving opportunity. So if you've been scheduled, it sends you a message and it asks you if you can be there for sure. And you're just going to want to answer yes if you can for sure be there, or no. The worst thing that we can do in this situation is not respond, because if it's a yes, then we can move forward. If it's a no, then we know that we have to replace you, or we have to find somebody to be there to fill that spot. But if you leave it unanswered, then we don't know whether you're planning on being there or not. So please, when you get those messages, just go ahead. You can get them by email or other notifications. I can show you how to do that if you have any questions. But when you get those, please respond to them. Arrival time. We have a team huddle in the sanctuary at 9:30 on Sunday morning. So we want everybody to be there prior to that. We tell everybody be there by 9:20. Get to the sanctuary. This is where we're going to have our team huddle. And all of us come together, we pray together, we talk about the day, We'll hand out our serving badges. All the guest services teams have badges with your names on them and your position and everything, and we want to hand those out. We want to get everybody ready, excited about what we're doing, remind everybody that this is not what we have to do, this is what we get to do, and then from there we disperse to our different jobs, and we try to have everybody in place by about 9:35 or approaching 9:40, but we want everybody to be ready. Our services start promptly at 10, so we need all of our people to be in place and ready to go as soon as possible. So as soon as that team huddle breaks, we want you to just go ahead and head straight to your position and get ready to go. The little pro tip in the corner here says, please allow yourself plenty of time before the huddle to get all your things settled, maybe visit the restroom, get coffee, all of the personal matters, check your phone, do whatever you need to do so that you can be in place when it's time. The Dream Team Huddle at 9:30, we'll go over the events of the day, the challenges we may be facing, distribute team badges, build excitement for the day, and just some words of encouragement and prayer before we hit what we're going to do. These are the different teams that are currently with the guest services. We have parking team, greeters, connections table, coffee, and ushers. Now there's a few other teams that we're working on and we're going to be launching very soon, but if you're serving on one of these, we're so excited to have you because these are so vital to what we do on Sunday morning. We literally can't do it without you. So I'm going to go through each one of these really briefly and then we'll finish this up. But our parking team, if you're serving on the parking team, you are very important. You are the frontline greeters. You're the first interaction that anybody's going to have with one of the people here at New Covenant. When somebody walks onto the parking lot, you're the first one they're going to see. So direct people with kids to the children's ministry areas, help them know where they're supposed to go to get their kids checked in. If you have any questions about that, we're going to be going over that with some of the parking team trainings, but we want to get people directed where they need to go, answer their questions, point them in the right direction, but always with a smile on your face. Let them know that we've been waiting for you. We're glad you're here. So, the greeter team. Now, this is pretty self-explanatory, but you are standing at the doors. You're welcoming people in. You're opening the doors for them, shaking hands, telling them that we're so glad to see them. We've been waiting for you. Again, we want them to hear that. One of the important things that we want to mention is if you are serving as a greeter, don't clog up the entryways. Welcome people in and let them inside and move past the greeters so that we don't clog up the entryways because that can get kind of confusing from time to time. And if they are first-time guests, if you're able to identify that they're a first-time guest, we want to move them over to the connection table and get them over to those people because that's the next step in the process for our first-time visitors. The connections table, very briefly, introduce guests to our church, direct them to the check-in stations for their kids. Connections people will walk them into the sanctuary, introduce them to one of the ushers, help them find a place to sit if they need to. But they will, at the end of the service, collect Connect cards and try to get an introduction with Pastor David or to myself, Pastor Patrick, and just try to collect that information from people so that we can get to know them a little bit better. And then our coffee team, this is an important team because people love caffeine. People love coffee. This is very important. So this is the only team where we ask people to be there earlier. We already have the coffee set to brew, but at 9 a.m. we need the coffee team to be there a little bit earlier. So if you're serving on that team, we will ask you to be there by 9. But just set up the coffee station, make sure everything's there, wipe it down, clean it off, get everything settled and situated. And then every few minutes, check it, maybe wipe it down, clean it up a little bit, retidy, refill supplies as the morning continues. People love their coffee. This is very important, and it says a lot when we're organized and neat and clean in this area. And lastly, our usher teams. You help people find seats as they come into the sanctuary, officiate communion. You hand out communion, make sure people have it. You guys are responsible for offering. You're responsible for some security concerns, also closing the doors after the first worship song. That's something that we ask our ushers to do. So if you're serving as an usher, when you're in your position and you're getting ready after that first song rolls, we like to shut the back doors just so that, we get a better atmosphere in the room. and then open the doors for people as they're leaving. Um, we don't want them having to open the doors for themselves. We just think it's a nice touch. If you're standing there, please open the door for people. And helpful ushers can make all the difference. If you look at the tip in the corner, help people find where they're going, open doors, facilitate questions, and always remember to smile. This is something that makes such a huge difference. So, lastly, we just want to say we're so glad that you joined this team. Guest services is at the top of our list of priorities, and we want more and more people to serve in the guest services. We can't have enough people in this area, so thank you for doing it. If you know anybody else that needs to get plugged in, please let us know. And also, more trainings will be coming. We're going to get very specific. If you're whatever team you're serving on, you'll get some individual trainings. But thank you for your time, and we look forward to working with you. And please let us know if you have any questions, and always remember that you were made for this. This is what God has called us to do, and we're going to live up to that calling. And thank you so much for joining us.